How did it all come about? Tell us.
Right, well, yeah, it came about a couple of years ago. I came up with this idea to do a documentary on a gangster. Obviously, just not being a gangster myself, but having a hold on that world. I know a few dodgy people, so I thought, you know what, I can get them involved and we can do this some kind of natural thing, you know. And then all of a sudden, Donald McIntyre comes out with a very British gangster, which is the story of Dominic Noonan, and he totally blows my idea out of the water. So it sat on the fence for ages, this idea. And then one day, it just literally came to me. I just said, what if it wasn't about a gangster? What if it was just about this regular bloke that, you know, that people know? And yeah, and that's kind of how it all came about.
There's a lot of sort of non-actors in the film.
Yeah.
What made you go down that route? Was it for the authenticity? Or?
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it is, there's no point hiring Bobby Rada, you know, to play a crackhead when I can get Jimmy the crackhead to be the crackhead and do you know what I mean? Because Bobby Rada, he's not going to fucking know, is he?
Did you know from the word go that this is going to be one of the most realist films you're ever going to see?
In a word, yeah. No. No. I mean, I knew that because of the people I had involved in it and, you know, the style of the film. I knew that it was going to be pretty real. Yeah, I did. I knew it. Yeah.
There's a million fantastic different scenes in the movie, and I mean, I don't know how many secrets you want to get away, but I mean, when I watched it, there was loads of scenes where I was like, how did they do that? The one that in the sweet shop, you know, do you want to give away how you did it? Is that really the secret? I don't know.
Well, no, we robbed the shop. That's yeah, Your Honour. No, I mean, obviously being a film, you know, I mean, all of it was shot around my way. Always film what you know, I guess. And you know, the Crispins that we robbed is my local Crispin. So I knew the people that was like, hey lads, how you doing? We're gonna film this little thing. They were like, yeah, sweet. But what surprised me was the geezer behind the counter. Because I said, listen, what we're going to do, we're going to go in there, we're going to rob a couple of beers and it's going to be funny. He goes, oh yeah, no problem. When I'm trying to grab the bag, the geezer's only trying to grab the bag back. And I thought, right, this geezer's really going for it.
Going back to non-actors, you, as a way from an outside, you put a lot of faith in non-actors. Did you feel any pressure? Because you don't know. I mean, you thought you were going to get it before this week.
Yeah. I mean, there was a few. I think the hardest thing, I think, is the concentration of these people, because if you hire actors, you know, they're straight down the line, they're there for a job, you know what I mean, it's very professional. Not saying that these lads weren't professional in any way, but the concentration slips a little bit. So you're doing a scene maybe a couple of times and, you know, it's not working, so you want to try something different, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's boring, let's get down the pub, like you know. So it's trying to keep them all there first is the hard bit. Trying to keep them all in one room is obviously hard, and yeah, it's just the concentration, I think, because sometimes it did slip a little bit, you know. But
so you say there's a lot of positives and negatives?
Yeah, no, of course, yeah, blatantly. I mean, the positives by far outweigh the negatives.
I mean, we know you're going to go on to make a lot more movies. This idea of keeping with non-actors, is that something that you're going to continue to do, or we mix it up, or?
Yeah, I think I always want to, like, I mean, for example, like Ian Duck, we play Spencer. I'd like him in every film I do, whether it be a little cameo or a big role. He's just my lucky charm, do you know what I mean, that geezer? So I just want to, I'll throw him in, you know, if and when I can, you know. But I'd like to mix it up. I'd like to work with professionals, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people I'd like to work with, but at the same time, it's about giving, not opportunities, because it's not like I'm like, do you know what I mean? So I'm big in the game geezer at the moment, but you know, it's about giving people a chance that want to get into acting, that have something about themselves that I see and that they can do the job.
Not only did you star magnificently in the movie, you directed it as well. How was that as an actor, and not just like, you know, you won a cameo, you was the lead in the movie and directed? How was that balance?
Yeah. It was fun. It was hard, but it was fun, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and the only person you can shout at is his faces with. You know, the only person I'm accountable to is myself. So there were many times that I didn't hit something myself, or I wasn't feeling what I was doing, and I'd have to step aside and, you know, literally look in the mirror and say, listen man, you're not doing what you know, everyone else is working really well, why aren't you up to the level? So, you know, so it's the balance of directing everyone and getting your own performance as well, I think, you know.
Have you got a favourite scene in the film?
Yeah, I got a few. I mean, my favourite scene is the scene with the fan heaters, where Terry walks into his house and he's greeted by Spencer and Dave, and Dave proceeds to sell him some fan heaters in the middle of the summer wearing a big duffel coat. I don't know why that's my favourite scene. I think it's so real. I think if you watch that scene and watch the banter, I mean, I've got many others. Obviously, I had fun with Kim doing the threesome scene. That was quite funny, and I got to shout her out. She took one for the team on that one. She really did. She pulled it out of the bag.
I think the official budget of the movie was about 500 quid. I don't know. But how did you find, you know, I mean, on the set, that's unbelievable to get to the stage. You must have had to beg, borrow and steal.
Yeah.
And obviously all the actors coming in and stuff. But what was, you know, is there any positives about doing it for that low money?
Yeah. The positives of doing it for that low money is there's no expectation. You know, there's no, I've got to get this into the cinema and I've got to claw all my money back and da. There's none of that. To be honest, this film started off as something that I wanted to do for me and my friends. You know, I had no idea at the time, at the very early stages, that people would be drawn to it and really, you know, take it on board and, you know, find it extremely interesting to watch. So the restraints of having a low budget is literally that you don't have fuck all to worry about. Do you know what I mean? You just do it, you know. But the bad thing is, no one's getting paid.
Yeah.
And so people get a little shitty. People, you know, locations get a little, you know, places like, you know. So it's.
Terry will inspire a lot of filmmakers when they know what you did it for, to go out and make it.
Well, I hope so. I mean, obviously, doing a documentary style is a cheaper way of making film. Non-actors, obviously, is another cost cutter. Locations, obviously, your local pub, your streets by your house, your this, your that. You know, you can do it. If I can do it, so can a lot of other people.
You chose to go down the improvisational route, going back to that, and it's very organic. Do you think that, I've been saying to some of the people today about the fact that you're all mates, I think that comes through on screen. Do you think there's a definite, the fact that you're all friends, you bring something to the film?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think I could have, being my first feature film as a director as well, and acting in it, I don't think I could have done the job that I did if they weren't my pals. And they put up with a lot from me, and I put up with a lot from them. But I think that's part and parcel of doing the whole experience.
And just to talk about the soundtrack, obviously, that's, you know, it's a real add something to the film.
Yeah.
How important is that for you, music within the film?
Unbelievably important. I mean, to be honest, we've got some amazing artists on there. You know that. I think a lot of these people that we have on there, they come with their own fan base. And when they see the film and they enjoyed the film and wanted their music to be a part of the film, you know, not only is that good for me because I love that music and I love the energy of these young people. Do you know what I mean? Us young people, I'm 29. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, but the energy of these people and the music they make, like, it's so now. Do you know what I mean? It's now. It's British. It says what Terry says, just in music form. Do you know what I mean? So, and I'm extremely privileged and proud for anyone who donated music to Terry.
I also want one really important question I haven't asked you about, actually, is just about Terry, because obviously we talked about directing him. The character, where did you get him from?
Yeah, well, the characters are based on a few different people. I mean, I don't know if I should name any names.
No,
but
don't name names.
Yeah, I don't. But what I wanted to do with Terry is make a character that people know. Do you know what I mean? Everyone knows someone like Terry. You know, he's the kind of bloke that you'd rather have as a friend rather than an enemy, because it's worth your while to have as a friend. You know, you don't want the trouble, and everyone knows someone like that. They really do. And
I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of buzz going around about Terry too. I mean, I don't know how much you say about that. There's a lot of buzz going around the industry. I just know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, we definitely maybe might do a Terry too. Is that alright for you?
Great answer.
We definitely
That's a great
maybe might do it.